What makes an inspired woman? Inspired women stand their ground and speak their minds. We are the kind of women that bring about change and transformation in a massive way. Inspired women seek out ways to shine the light on others in our quest to serve and to lead. Inspired women are bold, courageous, joyful, and brilliant leaders in our families, our businesses, and in our communities. That's why we, as inspired women, can stand up and say, we live amazing lives and we love it. And we are so ready to pass that inspiration on to you so that you too can become an inspired woman leading an amazing life. Welcome to Inspired Woman Amazing Lives podcast. Welcome to Inspired Women Amazing Lives podcast. And this is a place for women to come to really become inspired by watching other inspired women as they move through their journey and learning how extraordinary we all indeed are. And my guest today is that, if nothing else, she's quite extraordinary. Welcome, Hallie Avolio.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's so great to be here. I'm so happy to be on your show and to talk to other women about getting inspired. That is totally my jam.
All right. Hallie started Sassy Healthy Fit. Oh, excuse me. After she experienced an epic meltdown in a dressing room with horrific lighting. I'm sure there's a story there and she's going to tell it to us. Her 2-year journey included a ton of personal development reading, some radical nutritional changes, and a commitment to loving herself wholly and completely. I love that. Hallie realized that in-demand women, and I'm sure she will explain what that is, are often not paid attention to. They are the forgotten demographics. Thus, Sassy Healthy Fit was born. Very nice to have you, Hallie.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. It's really an honor to be here and to get to talk to you today.
Nice. So if you will, I always start with asking women to share their story with us. What brought you to this place? I know you're going to tell us that dressing room story.
You got it. Should we start there?
Yes.
I feel like my story is maybe not that unique, but it's a story that hasn't always been told. And I feel like there's a lot of people, women in particular, out there who have really traumatic life experiences that lead them to a pivotal moment in their life where they've had to make change. But there's also a lot of people that haven't had really traumatic experiences that just came to this realization through something a little more mundane, and it's still been a really transformational moment. And that's where my story comes into play, is really not out of something traumatic, but out of something that I really kind of took for granted and thought was more mundane, and realized in the process of my own transformation that I had the opportunity to inspire and impact other women to really take a harder look at themselves so that they can live their best lives possible.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So let's see. My basic story is that, I started off in this world, in this career world, if we go back to childhood, and we don't need to get into all that inner child stuff, but I was very much that girl that checked all the boxes. So I had this image in my mind, this vision that, you go through life, you go through elementary school, junior high, high school, college, you do everything in a specific amount of time, you start working right away, then you get promoted at work perhaps, you buy a house, you get married, you have kids, you have a dog, all the things, right? Like the American dream, I guess that's what you could say. And I really thought that that was what was my life. And I really felt like there was one path for me to pursue and that I couldn't deviate from that path. That wasn't something that I did for whatever reason. And it was all fine. Like on the surface, everything was good. I did all those things. I got a really great corporate job right after college graduation. I fell in love and married my college sweetheart. We have 3 kids. We're still married. We
Nice.
have 3 beautiful children. We live in Santa Barbara, California, which is a gorgeous community. We're very blessed. We have a lot of beautiful blessings in our lives. And I was very successful in my career. I was very fortunate to have very healthy babies. Like, all these things were really good, right? But somehow along the way, I forgot who I was, and I forgot to put myself first, and I forgot to take care of myself. And so over the course of maybe 15 to 18 years or so, I slowly started to lose the passion, the inspiration, the motivation, and the fire inside me to really just step into who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then it brings us a bit to that dressing room story, which is that had been like the culmination of a couple of years of being really, because I felt so resentful of this kind of picture perfect life that I'd created and felt that I couldn't deviate from. It manifested in me acting out, doing self-destructive behaviors, as in disrespecting my marriage and going out and partying a lot. Behaviors that for a 20-year-old or somebody in their 20s who's single and doesn't have children, like, all good, go out, party, stay up late, do all these things, right? You can deal with that in your 20s when you don't have a lot of responsibilities. But when you're in your mid-30s and you're a mom of 3, like, that's not really the preferred behavior path. And in the process, I realized I kept digging myself into this deeper hole because I just felt really lost. And I felt like I had to escape from everything in my life. Like, all I wanted was out, in terms of,
Wow.
I was like, why have I checked all these boxes? And I got really angry and resentful, and I stopped taking care of myself because I really kind of stopped caring. And so I gained a bunch of weight, and I wasn't sleeping well. And I really felt like everybody else had kind of caused me to get to this place of my life, and nothing seemed to be coming together. So the dressing room situation was that I was trying to find a dress to wear to my mom's birthday dinner. And in my mind, I had this idea that, like, I had to have a new dress to wear to the dinner. It wasn't even anything special in particular, but I had to have something new to wear. And I go into this boutique, a lovely boutique. The woman was very nice who owned it. And I'm standing there in the dressing room, and I've got, a rack full of clothes, and nothing fits me. Nothing. And I'm staring at myself in this mirror. And you know what I'm talking about with this terrible lighting, right, Kimberly? I mean, it's atrocious. But I'm looking at myself in this mirror, and I'm, nearly naked, right? Trying on clothes. And I just look at myself with such self-loathing and such disdain. And I was just so angry. And I was angry at myself, and I was angry at my circumstances. And I really felt like I was just the victim. And of course, that was just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. And I left that boutique, and I called my husband all in a flurry, and I was angry and I was yelling at him. And then I throw this like temper tantrum for about 24 hours where I was just like, I hate myself. I hate my life. I'm so frustrated. And the good news is that I came out of it fairly quickly, like I said, within about 24 hours. And what I realized was, like, I had to stop being in this situation. I had to stop playing the victim. I had to stop being angry and resentful. I had to pull myself out, and I had to start figuring out who I was and what was going to make me happy, because that path of self-destruction was not working for me. So that was the beginning of the journey, which, ended up leading into my business about 8 months later.
Nice.
But that was kind of the beginning.
That is really nice. It what is amazing is that you were able to pull yourself out of that. A lot of people would not have been able to do that. So kudos to you for that. And you pulled yourself out enough to start a business about 8 months later. Wow.
Well, and that wasn't even in the original plans, by the way.
It just evolved.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened. As I started to pull myself out of this funk, what I realized was that for my whole life, I had associated any discomfort and dissatisfaction with my life. I'd always put the emphasis on my physical appearance, meaning that I'd always put it on my weight and my physical health. And so in that moment in the dressing room when I felt really angry and, you know, dissatisfied with myself, I was immediately drawn to, okay, well, you have to lose weight. You have to start eating better, and you have to work out more, right? This is what we do. And I've done this so many times in my life that it just seemed like the obvious answer. So I thank you for saying that you give me kudos for pulling myself out of it. It took a lot longer than just in that moment, but it was that decision. That was the pivotal moment. It was that decision that I was tired of being a victim. But the next several months was really where I was put to the test. And I realized over that time, it wasn't just about, eating better and exercising more. Like those things were really helpful, right? I started to shed the pounds. I started to sleep better. I started to have more energy. I started to feel better overall, right? So that starts helping increase my confidence, etc. But the kicker for me was that I realized I had to do work in my, on myself, like in my heart and in my mindset. And that was the huge transformation because I had never done that in the past. In the past, when I'd gone to more of a healthy lifestyle routine, it was always kind of motivated by self-loathing and punishment. And I never went internal to figure out how can I make this a sustainable lifestyle. And so the difference this time was that I was like, I can't keep getting into this vicious cycle. This does not work for me anymore.
Very nice. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Normally, I tell women that all the time. Losing the weight is just it's just one of the symptoms. There's something deeper going on there.
Absolutely.
It'll definitely help health-wise and with your confidence but there's usually something deeper there.
Absolutely.
So you started Sassy Healthy Fit. What is the meaning behind Sassy Healthy Fit?
I'm so glad you asked because, like I said, it's not, at first I thought, okay, the way that I can help people is I can encourage them to eat better and move their bodies more, right? Seems obvious. And then when I started digging into it more, I realized that in-demand women, so we talked about this just briefly a few moments ago, in-demand women, which I defined as women who have a lot of demands on their time by choice. So a lot of times they are moms, and a lot of times they're also moms who work or have volunteer responsibilities or a side hustle. They have a lot of different responsibilities in their life by choice. And they have made those choices, yet they still want to take care of themselves, but they struggle with it.
Yes.
They've got all of these demands and they're not sure how to put themselves first and how to prioritize themselves without guilt. So that's what I aim to do, is to empower women to prioritize themselves without having the guilt. And the sassy piece of it is, I want to have fun. I want women to have more fun. When we have more fun, when we're more joyful, everything in our life comes together more. And so for me, the combination of these words, sassy, healthy, and fit, is really this culmination of lifestyle that's living your best life, mind, body, and spirit. And so I like to talk about things that are important and relevant to women that have to do with more than just, your nutrition and your movement. So talking about relationships, talking about how we operate as women, through our cycle. Let's talk about sexual situations that have come up. Kind of pushing the envelope on topics that are not often talked about, because I want women to feel comfortable that they can be in community and that they can talk about anything they want to talk about. And that's empowering, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not often that women can find a community where they're able to talk about personal issues. And so being able to offer that for women is really, really good. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And you had, I consider myself an in-demand woman.
Yeah.
On your definition. But I think I saw on your website, you also had this really strong definition for sassy. What is sassy?
Well, to me, sassy I just want to clarify, it's not your teenager rolling her eyes at you. Because trust me, my almost 10-year-old daughter does that on a regular basis, but that's not what I'm talking about. To me, being sassy, it really is, it can be defined individually for each woman, but the overall definition is stepping into who you are and doing what makes you feel fun and flirty and sexy, and
Love
really
it.
just owning like who you are. What's your energy about? You know, if I ask you, Kimberly, like, what's something that you do in your life that just makes you feel like, yeah, that's me, and I'm like excited about it. Do you have an example of something that makes you feel that way?
Um, I'm going to be a little personal here, but what really makes me feel that way, because, I'm a business owner, right? So I work at
Mhm.
home, and I spend a lot of time by myself. But what really lights me up and makes me feel that way is my lingerie. When I put on those,
Ooh,
yes, I put on my
yeah.
matching sets, and under my clothes, I know they're there, and they make me feel sexy, and just they excite me because it's my sexy lingerie.
I
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
That's
I wear it
amazing.
randomly. I don't just wear it for, I know some women that wear it for special occasions. What? Every day is a special occasion. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And that's what I'm talking about. And for some women, it's like for me, for example, this morning I went and took a pole dancing class, and I just started
ah,
taking, I mean, they're so fun. And I've never considered myself a dancer or somebody that's graceful or somebody that can even like move. Like, I've always felt kind of awkward in my body. I'm tall. I've always been like kind of bigger than other people, and I just felt like kind of awkward and uncomfortable and not very like coordinated. But taking this class, it makes me feel so just like fun and vibrant and alive, and it's awesome.
yes.
And I do it for me. And so that's really, like you said, you do it for you. That
Mhm.
to me is sassy. And I want more women to embrace this, because when we do, like, how happy does that make you feel if you take
Oh
the time
yeah.
to put it on? Don't you have such a better day than on the days where you're like, where you
Yes.
don't do it?
Yes. Yes, it does. It does something to my mood for the day when I'm
Yeah.
out and about, and because um the one thing about being a business owner in your home by yourself all the time is that when you do go out, even if it's to the grocery store or
Yeah.
shopping or just to see a movie, you're not in your environment anymore. You're
Right.
you're like, "Oh, I'm out and about here." So you've got to be bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
So,
I agree. So that's what my mission is to encourage more women to really embrace this side of themselves and not to be timid or nervous or lack
yes.
confidence, because we are all beautiful beings exactly as we are. Exactly as we are. And we need to honor that about ourselves. And truly, if I've learned nothing else through, my experience, we have to start internal, and we have to be our own cheerleader. Like, it has to start with us making the decision that we're doing this for ourselves. And
Yeah.
then you can show up better for everybody else in your life, and you'll have the community, and you'll have the support and all the things. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now, you you know, you what am I trying to say here? Um,
You got all
um,
excited when we're talking about the lingerie, right?
yeah, I did. I did. You're you talk about health, and health is a word, of course. A lot of health coaches, wellness professionals,
Mhm.
they talk about health. Health has a lot of different meanings. What is it that you focus on with these in-demand women in regards to health?
I love that setup, Kimberly. I love that there are lots of aspects of health, right? You've got your physical health, you've got your mental health.
Hmm.
There's everything from working out at the gym to eating well, et cetera, taking supplements, all the things. So when I think about being healthy, it starts with mindset. And when
Mm,
you live your life coming at all angles, all aspects of your in-demand life with a healthy mindset, you're going to be more successful. You're going to be in better physical health. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have more energy. All of that. It has to start with your mindset,
right.
and it has to start with your positivity. And I am a very positive person. I always have been, even in my darkest days. You know what I mean? And like I said, we all have our demons. We all have our stuff we've been through. even in my darkest days, I think people would consider me a very positive person. In fact, most people didn't even know that I went through any personal struggles a few years ago.
Wow.
And because I put on a good show on the outside, but I also tried to be really positive because I feel like positivity is so valuable. It's one of my core values is being positive and looking at things in a way that just makes you feel uplifted. And I really think that when you come at life in general from a positive mindset, that is what health is about.
Yeah. I like that. I love it. Yeah. Positive. It starts everything. You're so right, Hallie. Everything starts with the mindset.
And if I can add, we have to make a choice. And we have to make a choice every single day. You know, we all have the opportunity every single day when we wake up to decide if we're going to be happy or if we're going to be grumpy, right? I mean, that's kind of it. And if you choose to be positive, then you're going to figure out a way to get through your day and to enjoy it and to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process. And if you don't choose to be positive, you're going to be unhealthy.
Yes. There's so many days before I get out of the bed almost and get my day started, so many things, quote unquote, starts to go wrong. And at some point, I just have to stop myself and say, no matter what my day looks like, no matter what happens today, all the things that I think should go right are not going right, but it doesn't matter. I choose to be happy.
I love that. And I agree. What for me, one of the most influential things that I've learned and that I encourage women, you know, and I teach women is to start your day with a gratitude practice. And it can be super simple. I mean, for me, I have a whole morning routine that, you know, it may or may not work for you or for whoever's listening, but gratitude, I think, is so critical to really appreciate and to be grateful very first thing in the morning, because if you can have gratitude, you're going to instantly shift your mindset to that positive space and you're choosing to be grateful. And the way that I do it is that I write down in my journal 5 things that I'm grateful for every morning. And they can be any 5 things. I mean, sometimes I write down something repetitive, like I'm grateful for my strong and healthy body. I write that down a lot because I want to reaffirm that to myself. But I also write down things like I'm grateful that the sun is shining today, or I'm grateful that I don't have 6 loads of laundry to put away. You know, I mean, it can be, but these are the little things. So when you can focus on the gratitude, it really changes your brainwave so that you focus on the positive and that your brain starts to absorb the information that's in that positive headspace so that you can be healthier, mind, body, and spirit.
Nice. Yes. I love that. I love having, I do have a gratitude practice in the morning as well. And I absolutely love it. So yeah, those are really, really good tips, audience, for being able to just start one. Just start with writing 5 things.
It could even be writing 1 thing.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Like you can write down 1 thing you're grateful for. You open your eyes and you say, I am grateful I opened my eyes today. I mean, right?
There you have it. Yes, absolutely. There you have it.
Yep.
Hallie, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll chat a little bit more about challenges for women with their health.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Have you been dying to share your voice in a bigger way to make even greater impact, but whatever reason, you're holding yourself back? No surprise there. I know many women who are experiencing the same thing. But now is the time to change. If not now, when? Hey, Kimberly Wiggins here with Inspired Women Amazing Lives. Now is the time for you to decide to take action. Right now. Listen, podcasting for women has grown and is life-changing. It is so much better when we as women share our stories and engage with each other about our experiences and our transformations. Because we get it. It's about you sharing your heart to impact others and grow your business so you can help other women reach their goals. Check out my Podcasting Made Easy program right now at inspiredwomenamazinglives.com. Let's shift things for your life and business so that you can create more amazing content that impacts your clients. Remember to use the code POD, P-O-D, for 50% off podcasting made easy. Okay, audience, we are back. And we want to pick Hallie's brain a little bit more. And this is a question that I always like to ask. The biggest challenges. What are some of the biggest challenges for women with their health? And you defined health for us a minute ago. What are some of the biggest challenges you find?
I mean, the biggest challenges that I hear from the women that I work with and the women that I serve is that they feel like they don't have enough time. And they feel like they struggle with having the time to put themselves first and get themselves healthy. And they come up with a lot of excuses.
Oh, yeah.
They come up with a lot of excuses, and they struggle because they know their excuses on one hand, and on the other hand, they want to put themselves first, but then they have a lot of guilt around that. So it becomes this vicious cycle, and it can be really challenging for them to break it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have a lot of excuses myself, Hallie.
We all do every single day.
Yeah. I finally, I'm a baby boomer, so I'm in my 50s. And so I finally, I left the gym about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I finally decided, Kim, you've got to get back there because you're getting older and you need, I went to a gym and they did this little test on me.
Right.
To really talk about, one of the things that I'm afraid of is becoming frail because I'm a small woman. And so as I get older, and so I know the way to do that is to just keep that muscle, a little bit of muscle up there to help support my structure. And so I went to a gym and they did that little muscle analysis thing. And they say, you've got good muscle mass still, although you haven't been working out, in about 2 years. But I said, I think it's time for me to go back. And so I've recently, reconnected with my trainer and gone back in the gym. And so
That's awesome.
I've already pushed it back twice already.
Okay, you got to put this on your calendar.
I know. I don't want to put it on my calendar because I'm thinking, oh boy, I don't really want to go back. But I know I need to. And so,
okay, but can I ask you a question? So you don't want to go back, but you need to. What does that mean to you?
Well, I know that, when I become 80, and I've seen it, I see these women who are 80, 90 years old, and they are still structurally fit in a way where, they're not humping, their body is still solid, the body frame is still solid. And so health-wise, I feel like that's where I want to be because I don't want my body to fail me. So I know I need to do this if I want that result when I'm 80 or 90. I know I need to do it. But it's a painful process.
Well, I acknowledge that. And I actually really love that you share that because it's really raw and vulnerable and real. And one of the things that I like to talk to women about is, here's the deal. First of all, we have one body, right? I mean, most of us, I think, have one body. And, and our body is our vehicle for getting through our day. And I think that maybe it's a cultural standard or something, but I feel like, and this has been true for me, that we put too much emphasis on our physical body, right? And then it becomes this source of anger, resentment, punishment, etc. And instead, I really encourage women to love your body as this beautiful vessel to share your energy and to allow you to be really present to those in your life, those in your family, those your friends, your circle, whoever you're around in your world. And I think that that's a really important distinction. Instead of distancing yourself, having that strong mind-body connection, I think is really impactful and powerful to help allow us to make movement part of our everyday. And the other thing that I feel really strongly about, because I actually have this conversation frequently with both friends and also with my mom about going to the gym.
Yeah.
And a lot of people hate going to the gym, and
Mhm.
that's okay. Like, you don't have to go to the gym. There's so many ways that you can move your body to get that strength, right? And to make it more fun. So one of the tenets of that I promote for everybody that I work with is, if you're going to have a healthy lifestyle, it has to be simple, sustainable, and fun. And if
Yes.
it's not those things, you're not going to do it. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the bottom line, right? Like, we've all been there. I mean, there's so many times when I've been like, oh, I have to do this thing and I don't want to do it and I'm not going to do it. And then, you talk yourself out of it. You come up with excuses. You have this fear that gets built up in your mind. It's a cycle. But if you find things in your life that you can, simplify, so it's really easy to implement, it's sustainable, meaning that you can do it for the long haul, and it's fun, meaning it makes you smile, brings you joy, and makes you feel good, then you're more likely to stick to it and, get the benefits overall.
And you're absolutely right. I was trying to coach myself this morning as I was thinking about it in the mirror. You're right. And you're absolutely right. It has to be, I love that, simple, sustainable, and fun. And it's not that the gym for me is so bad. What it is my trainer wants to train me for an hour,
Oh, that's too long.
and then it runs over. Yeah, sometimes an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just the thought of that. But you know what I thought about this morning when I was thinking about it in the mirror? And now I'm glad you said that, because you've reinforced that for me. I said, I'm just going to tell him I'm only going to do 30 minutes.
Yeah. Amen, sister. You don't
Yeah.
need to do an hour.
And I'm going to tell him I only want to do 30 minutes. I'm not doing an hour.
And honestly, if your trainer says, sorry, I only teach people for an hour, it's probably because of their money. It's probably because they want to charge the hour's worth, whatever. But then maybe they're not a good fit for you, and that's fine. There's plenty of other trainers out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. I agree. And you just reinforced that for me. Thank you so much, Hallie.
You're so well. But here's the thing, like, even for a while, so I actually recently just rejoined a gym. Because it was just a little bit easier for my weightlifting and that sort of thing. But for about 2.5 years, I was working out exclusively at home. And I bought some dumbbells and I would buy them at a thrift store. I had a weight bench that we got at Costco. And my husband and I did together. We did some workout videos. Nice. I have an app to do some yoga. There's tons of things that you can do from home, but you don't even need any equipment. There's tons of body weight exercises you can do. If you're a mom and you're taking your kids to the park, you can like pull up on the monkey bars, which is actually a really hard exercise. So if you have enough upper body strength to do those monkey bars, you can do push-ups, you can run around, in circles, do jumping jacks. There's so many things that you can do that are really easy to implement in your life. I mean, truly, there are no excuses. When I hear I'm too busy, what that says to me is that woman is just not, it's not a priority for her for whatever reason. There's a lot of reasons, and that's okay. But instead of saying I'm too busy and taking what I would consider a victim mentality, I encourage women to really call themselves on how they're feeling and say, it's not a priority for me right now.
I love that.
Be honest with yourself.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah. I love that.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah. And I love that you're encouraging women to really just basically stop lying to themselves.
Yeah. I recently wrote an article for my blog, and it's called Can't or Won't. And it might have a little bit of a longer title, but that's the gist of it. And it's this whole thing about prioritizing your decisions. And is it that you can't do something or that you won't do something? And really, when you are honest with yourself about any decision that you're going to make in your life, you're showing up so much more authentically, and the results are going to be that much better. And when we're honest with ourselves and we're honest with those around us, like, it's all good. Instead of putting up all these smoke and mirrors and making up excuses, and I mean, that just doesn't serve anybody.
Yes. I love it. You're speaking real truth, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
it. All I got.
Yes. And so, Hallie, what are some of the ways you work with women? Audience, before you answer that, you have to check out that website. She's got a ton of information on that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You've got a lot on there. I mean, food tips, recipes, exercise. She's got a lot on there if you're looking for a good resource. Sassy Healthy Fit. That's it. So what
Thank
are some of the ways you work with women?
Well, that's a great question. I so appreciate that. So, of course, my blog, that's where I started out my business, was blogging. So I have a ton of content on there that's everything from, conversations about sex, love, and relationships to, like you said, daily rituals, to recipes, to some workout fitness tips, etc. So there's a ton of content on there at my website. The other thing that I do is I recently started hosting some local events, which have been really fun. And bringing together women in small groups so that we can, get together in different ways to support each other, to have more fun in our lives, and, to talk about issues that are really important to us. Then in addition to that, I have a podcast and a YouTube TV show, as well as a Facebook community group, which I would love anybody in this, who's listening that's a woman, to check it out. If you go on Facebook group /My Sassy Life, you can find it. But it's an awesome community, and my intention with that is to show up and to start conversations that bring women together, and to encourage them, motivate them, inspire them, and have some fun and talk about things that, give them a safe space to really talk about all the things that they want to talk about that maybe they don't feel as comfortable talking about, in person or around the dinner table.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. She's got a lot out there. And when I saw all those other areas on your page about sex and relationship, and I was like, what?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite topics.
Very nice. So nice.
Thank you. The other thing I just wanted to share as well, and is that, I think with women, one of the things is oftentimes we have this expectation on ourselves that we have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind you and anyone listening that you have to have grace and compassion with yourself first and foremost, and just know that whatever you're doing to take care of yourself, it's enough. You're enough, you're worthy of it, and you just have to start small, and you don't have to take on all the things all at once. You don't have to have this, rock hard body and be the perfect mom and be making $1 million a year. You don't have to do all that to be happy, successful, joyful, etc. And it's really about just loving yourself and finding the little ways that you can do that every single day, and then build the momentum as you go.
I totally agree. Oh, so totally agree. When I was going to the gym, one of the things that I would do is I would beat myself up if I had a bag of chips. Because I would say, I pay all that money to go to the gym. I'm not ruining this body with a bag of chips.
Right.
That was so the wrong attitude. If I ate a bag of chips, I needed to eat it at that point in time and enjoy it. It wasn't like I was eating, it would be one little bag. It wouldn't be one of the huge ones, and everything in moderation. And
oh my gosh, everything. Yes, 100%.
And so there was no reason for me to beat myself up about those little small things, but so I've learned. Yeah, absolutely. We can't be it all and have it all and just, that's unreal.
Right.
Yeah. Wonder Woman is only a character on TV.
True story.
Yes. So yeah, I love that. So you did an event recently about body positivity, and this is a huge topic. Tell us about it.
Sure. So, I have struggled with my body image and my body positivity mindset for as long as I can remember. And I think I'm finally, like literally in the last 2 weeks, I finally feel like I've got a handle on it, and I feel good and confident, and like I've got it under control now. Even after all this time of, learning and coaching myself and, going through this process and this journey. So I had, I think I mentioned earlier that I took a pole dancing class. So I met this woman, this local studio, and she's amazing. I interviewed her on my show, and then I had this inspiration. I said, this is such a great place. When women come here, they feel so empowered and strong and beautiful and confident. I want to create a space where women can come and experience this when they might not normally put themselves in that situation. So I created this event called Body Positivity and Pole Dancing. And It was super fun. We held it at the studio, the dance studio, which is called Seventh Dimension Dance. And we had about 21 women there because that was the capacity that we could have so that everybody can dance. But the intention of the event was that everybody just shows up exactly as they are to have a night of fun, to learn some dancing, to bond, and to just really experience who you are in your own skin and embrace yourself, loving yourself exactly as you are right now. And I was so, so proud of all the women that showed up because they didn't just show up physically, they showed up 100% mentally, physically, spiritually, all of it. It was amazing. I had women there of all ages, all shapes and sizes,
Nice.
and most of the women had never done anything like this. And several of the women ahead of time had even said to me, like, Hallie, I'm really nervous about this, but I want to push myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. I want to try it. And I was so freaking proud of these women. They showed up. And when you're pole dancing, you know, you don't want to be wearing a lot of clothes because it's a little hard to maneuver, right, in that style of dance. But I told them, wear what you're comfortable in. And people wore, you know, leggings and tank tops. Other women wore leotards. Other women danced in their bra and panty set, whatever they felt comfortable in. And it was so beautiful to see them really just embracing their bodies as they are and moving in such a fun and, you know, sensual, invigorating way. It was really moving. And I was just so proud of all those women for showing up and just really loving themselves and being positive about all who they are right in that moment.
That is so nice. That is really nice. That was very smart of you. Body positivity is this great big thing now. And I've not done pole dancing myself because I thought about it. I've done belly dancing though.
Oh, that's fun. I've never done belly dancing. I want to try it.
Yeah, that was my thing that got me out of my comfort zone to embrace my body more. I needed to do one.
Right.
I think that every woman should. And so I think you've started something there with that event. That's nice.
Thank you. It's been really, really positive. And it's again, I really feel strongly with body positivity. You know, it has to start with the mindset, and you have to really both have a strong mind-body connection, but also understand that your body does not reflect your self-worth or your beauty or your talent or your success. Your body is just a vehicle. And if you treat your body as a vessel of health, where you fuel it with nutrition that allows it to be healthy, where you move your body in a way that allows you to be more agile and fluid in your movement and strong. And when you rest your body as it needs to be rested so that it can properly function, right? I mean, this is how you need to treat your body, not nitpicking and looking at like your little rolls and being like, oh, I don't like that one. And, you know, what's happening here with my, I mean, none of that. Like, why do we do that to ourselves?
I don't know. I know. I'm totally there with you.
Because we all do it.
Yeah, we all do it. When I told my trainer, I said, I'm coming back because I've got some back fat.
Girl, I got back fat too.
And he laughed. He said, oh no, we can't have that. I said, no,
oh gosh,
coming. I don't want back fat. So, but we do it. You know, I was just joking about that. I don't care about back fat. But we all do it. We all do it. Even when we know we shouldn't, we all do it. So
but that's the thing. That's what I'm hoping to change the conversation around is let's change the conversation. Let's embrace who we are. Let's embrace our womanly bodies. Let's embrace the fact that we can make babies and that we can walk and that we can lift our groceries from the car into our house. I mean, the abilities that each of us has physically, regardless of your actual physical, every person, I believe, has amazing physical abilities, regardless of where you're at, and celebrate that because it's truly, the human body is a miracle. Yes. And we need to love that and not nitpick all these little things that we call flaws or imperfections. In my opinion, that's what makes us stronger and more interesting and more beautiful.
Yes, I love that statement. Nicely said. Mm-hmm. Now, you offer some programs for women. Tell us what programs you have right now that women can jump into.
Well, right now I don't have any online programs. I only have local programs where I'm at.
Okay.
I am doing some speaking events that some different speaking events that women can come to, and I'm also going to be starting a small group women's circle. So that's
Oh, nice.
upcoming. But since this audience is probably broader than just my local audience, they can certainly participate in, like I said, my Facebook community, and also by listening to my podcast or watching my YouTube show. There's tons of resources, and I'm always happy to connect with people one-on-one. And it's possible that I'll be taking some courses online. I just don't have that available right at the moment.
That is really nice though, but there are ways for them to connect with you. And when you do,
Absolutely.
yeah, when you do decide to bring those courses online and give people even more ways to connect with you, the beauty of that is that you now have an offline and an online business. Most
Right.
online business owners do not.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So the beauty is that for anybody listening to this that is not in my local area, you can have all my content for free.
Yes. Yeah, very nice. I love it. Oh, wow. Very nice. Okay. So, as we mentioned before, you can find Hallie at sassyhealthy.fit. And that's her website. There's a ton of resources on there. You get lost in there if you get on there. And she's also on social media, and she has a Facebook group. And so I'll post all of those links on my website on her podcast page, and you'll be able to connect with her and get all those links there. And Hallie, you have a free gift for my audience. Tell us about that.
I do. I'm very excited. So one of the things that I absolutely love and is part of my everyday routine to stay positive, to stay confident, and to feel sassy and fun is my Sassy AF affirmation card deck. And my freebie is that I have a digital download for you. So anybody that's interested, there'll be a special link that you can get. I'll make sure that Kimberly has it so that you can click on that and get the digital version. There's also a physical version. If anyone wants to purchase them, you can just get them at my website, but you'll get the free version as the digital download. So there's 37 different affirmation cards that are intended to make you feel sassy, fun, sparkly, get your day started right, and really get you into that positive mindset so that you can start your day living your best life every single day.
I love it. Yeah. Affirmation cards, they work so well.
They do. It's been a life changer for me.
Yeah. And this way you can have a digital version in your phone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where it works best for me. And that's why I like
me.
having that digital version. When I do, because I tell you I don't get out often, but when I do and I have to get in traffic and people just, it really, yeah.
Yes.
And so I'm sitting in traffic and I'm able to, I'm not holding my phone. I've got it on one of those little things, but I'm able to punch that thing up and just start looking at affirmations. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it calms me back down. And to know this traffic won't last forever. I'm headed back home. It's okay. I'm going to get there. It's fine. It's just going to take me a little bit longer. But the affirmation cards help so much.
I love that. I love that because road rage is real. PSA, road rage is real. Use affirmation cards.
Yes, it is. So I love that. Thank you for giving that to my audience as a free gift.
Oh, you're so welcome. I hope everyone enjoys it.
Yes, yes. And it's been great. Oh, it's been so good having you, Hallie. Audience, Hallie has given you some just really good information for you to use, especially with your mindset. And so reach out to her if you have any questions. Check out our website. There's a lot of information on there. And it was great having you, Hallie.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, for having me on the show. It was super fun to talk to you. You have such great energy and positivity yourself, and I know that you're making a huge impact and inspiring all of these women that are listening to your show.
Yes, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Now, before you leave, Hallie, if you could give my audience one action tip that they could take away and put in place today in their life and make their life a little bit better.
Okay, I love it. Here's my action tip. Spend 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes, listening to your favorite song, whatever that may be, and either dancing to it or singing along with it, but just listening to it and embracing it and feeling the music and just let it lift your spirits. That's one song. every day.
That's a good one, really. That is really, really, really a good one. I'll tell you why. I used to do that. I used to at least maybe listen to music a couple times a week and just dance all over the place. That's how I would take a break from
Right?
business, from working. Whenever I wanted to take a break and unwind a little bit, I just put on a song and dance everywhere. I've stopped
Yep.
doing it, but you're right. It brings that energy back, your energy level back up.
Right?
So it's
I think
fun.
so too. I made a playlist for myself that's called I Am Sassy AF. So whenever I need that little pick me up, I just like pick any random song on there and go. And I'm feeling so good. So it could be while I'm doing the dishes or making my kids' lunches or
Nice.
whatever, but I put it on and just instantly, even if I'm in kind of like a funky stress, whatever, I'm just like, oh, there we go. Bring it on. I'm feeling good now.
Good. I'm going to make me a playlist.
Make a playlist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Whenever you're feeling off, I need to tell my daughter that too. When her kids she gets frustrated. She's a business owner as well, and she'll get frustrated and just pop out the player, put a song on, and you and the kids just dance.
Yep.
Just
Exactly.
dance.
My kids
Yeah.
love it.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Hallie. You've shared
Thank
so much
you.
insight, and you've been a bright spot in our day today. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
it.
Kimberly.
And audience, please reach out to Hallie if you need her. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you for being here. And we'll catch you, audience, next time on Inspired Women, Amazing Lives podcast. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Inspired Women, Amazing Lives podcast, where we help women to be truly inspired to live their most amazing lives. Please subscribe to the podcast to be notified of new content each and every week. Like, comment, and share these episodes with a woman who inspires you most or someone you would like to inspire. See you on the next episode.